Testing 1, 2.
Take one, common slate, Mark.
All right, okay. I'm excited to get a chance to share the story to what's happened through the formation of Heartland Dental. I always viewed our job at Heartland is to help every doctor become as good as they could possibly be.
One of the things I value most about teaming up with Heartland is the leadership that is given to us and the skills that they help flourish and grow within us.
Didn't ever think it would be this big, because the whole process was, how can we help one doctor, then help another doctor, then help another doctor.
Heartland, to me, became the people that supported me.
From the moment that I walked into his practice, I was absolutely blown away by this guy. And he was so excited and passionate about what he was doing. And I've seen the future of dentistry, and it's in Effingham, Illinois.
I think one of the key foundational principles of this company is that doctors have full autonomy. And it's truly given me a different perspective about what my mission and my vision is and my role is in this company. And I'm glad to say that this is the best place to be in our industry.
What you will not find here at Heartland, our culture, is not based on somebody else telling you what you can and cannot do.
This company is about doing the right things for the right reasons, and all your numbers, your balance sheet, your income statements, those are all turn out fine as long as we take care of patients and do the right things for those right reasons.
Our entire ethos evolves from that intersection of the practicing dentist and their challenges, their realities, what is difficult for them and where their opportunities lie.
When I joined, I was welcomed with open arms from day one. Now I have a great productive practice.
He can see the future. He has plans 10 years down the road of where things need to be.
This is the life's work of so many people, and we don't think about this business in 5-year cycles. We think about this business in a forever cycle.
If you work hard, try to do the right thing, and are resilient, in America, anything is possible. It took us 40 years to get here. Something that we started last week.
So truly, it's my honor to introduce our founder, Dr. Rick Workman. And his passion for dentistry is contagious. His energy around it is contagious. And for all these qualities that I mentioned now and many more, he has been awarded the top 32 most influential people in dentistry for the last 5 years. Pretty incredible, by Insight magazine.
I ended up putting my resume in probably around July of 2000. And they said, yeah, we're looking for dentists just like you. And we're like, great. But you have to go to Effingham. And I had never heard that name. And Dr. Workman is sharing all these great things about what dentistry needs to be and what it could be, and his passion was sort of like oozing through. And I'm this just fresh off the boat, probably kid, looking at him with his wide eyes and saying, oh my God, this just sounds right. I want to be with you. And at that time, it didn't even take very long for me to decide that this was the place I wanted to be.
Our journey has been about allowing each dentist to become the best dentist, the best leader, the best person that they have the ability to be. It's not that complicated. We're just trying to put people in a position to be successful in their careers and their personal lives, delivering comprehensive dental health care to their communities. It's not that complicated.
With Heartland, you get to have the autonomy over how you want to practice, and you get to set your own ceiling. It's not set by anybody else. Like, your success is limited by how hard you want to work and how much you want to grow yourself. So I just think Heartland does such a good job of raising the entire industry of dentistry, because within Heartland, when one of us does better, we all do better.
Being a doctor-led practice, one of the things that was amazing is that we could make decisions within our practice as doctors.
You'll be successful as a dentist if you can learn to develop your leadership skills and learn to work with your team to gain acceptance for the dentistry that you diagnose.
They will never, ever tell you this is how you should prep a tooth. They're not there to tell dentists how to do their job. You went to dental school, you have a degree, you know how to do dentistry. The only thing they want to do is help you, is how to deliver that product, which is dentistry. And it's for your own benefit. It is for your own benefit of the patients, and it is the benefit of the team.
Coming to Heartland was a no-brainer for me. They really are just good people out doing the right thing for the right reasons. And I'm just so thankful that I'm a part of it currently, and I couldn't be more proud.
It's so important for Heartland to be doctor-led because it's empowering the doctor to do what they need to do to meet the expectations of the patient.
As an institution for 20 plus years, we've been trying to be better every single year at everything we do. I think it's been that mentality that's given us the edge that we have.
We live our values, that our doctors are going to be treated with respect. We're not perfect. If you're not nice, it won't work, so we might as well move on, because that's part of our competitive advantage, is we're nice people who are going to be really successful.
Let's take you back.
Yeah.
When you started and your journey in dental school and then opening up your first practice, what was that like?
So why Effingham, right? So I grew up on a farm about 30 minutes southeast of here.
In Ingraham, Illinois. The population's, I'd guess, about 150 people. I'm the first child in the Workman family to always have indoor plumbing. My first job was gathering the eggs at age 4. By the time I was 7, I learned how to milk a cow, and that was normal for me. My parents, they raised me and my sister to not suffer mediocrity all that well. And by the time you're 10 years old, you're about old enough to be a tractor driver. So you learn to work. In the 4th grade, we moved to Clay City, Illinois, where I finished high school. When I graduated, we had about 220 kids in the high school. Mrs. Long was their English teacher. She was what you'd call our guidance counselor. She said, "Rick, you've got a lot of potential. You ought to use it to get a great education and climb high in the ladder of life," she wrote. I've been asked many times along the way how I decided to become a dentist. Again, as fate would have it, back then you had to have a physical to go to college. And I went to the doctor. He goes, "Rick, what are you going to do when you grow up?" He goes, "Rick," he said, "you ought to be a dentist. I mean, they got it made."
Does that hurt? Yeah! Good, you haven't felt anything yet.
And I'm going, "A dentist?" I mean, I'm thinking in my head, you're giving injections and who likes to go to the dentist? And then it kind of like came to me, like, wait a minute. You could be a dentist and be a really nice person. And it kind of was in my head that maybe that would be good. So I transferred to Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. When I got accepted to dental school, which was on January 28th, 1977, the people, my classmates, everything were absolutely amazing and awesome. But it left an indelible image in my head. I thought someday I'd like to be in a position where I could make a positive influence on our education system in dentistry. Got licensed during the summer of 1980, and somebody tipped me off that a 2-chair basement old dental office was in Effingham, Illinois. I borrowed $32,500 from my parents and grandparents to buy 2 chairs worth of equipment and then set up a practice. And on September 8th, 1980, they installed my $15 hand-painted sign, which was my marketing budget for about the next year or two. And one of the luxuries and benefits of being a professional was that I was going to start work at 9 o'clock in the morning and get a little extra sleep. And I tell the world that I held true to my values until Thursday of that first week when a person came and said, "I can come in, but I can only come in at 8 o'clock. And I go, "You're paying me $15 for an extraction? I'll be there." It was a tremendously anxious time because I'm trying to master things in dentistry, first time without supervision. 6 weeks into practice, I was grossing $300 a day. And the truth is, I worked about 50 hours a week chairside. And I also worked another 20 to 30 hours a week after hours, trying to figure out, what do I need to learn to be a better dentist? What do I need to do to have a better dental practice, better business, how to become a better leader?
When I first started working for Dr. Workman, I think we had about 5 practices at that time. And so we would work in the main office a couple days a week, and then we would carpool to the other locations.
A lot of travel, a lot of long days, hard work, but Dr. Workman was the first one to be putting in the hours, more hours than anybody else. And he also encouraged us to take any kind of classes, anything that could improve us in our roles and grow us along the way.
From the moment that I walked into his practice, I was absolutely blown away by this guy. And he was so excited and passionate about what he was doing. It was obvious to me that his team members enjoyed being with him. They enjoyed working together. They enjoyed serving their patients. And so I knew that it was something that I needed to be a part of.
One particular time that I remember is we were opening 4 offices on the same day. And I remember Debbie Steppe and I, who had done all the setup with the offices and all those things in the beginning, and we told Dr. Workman, if you ever open 4 offices in the same day again, we're gonna quit. And he turned right back around and did it again, and we didn't quit.
We definitely wanted to help with the growth. I don't think that either one of us had any idea what that meant for the future, but it was very exciting.
He was wanting to start a periodontal program in his practice. He'd seen the need, and he wanted to figure out how they could serve the community and take care of periodontal disease, because there weren't a lot of dentists doing that at that time.
Dr. Workman was one of the first people to actually implement soft tissue management programs. So that was an inflection point back in the 80s, and he took a lot of heat for that, for being a dentist that said, I think I'm gonna start screening for that. It's obviously driven us to this kind of hygiene philosophy that we have.
We value dental hygienists as secondary providers that support dentists by gathering clinical information doctors use for diagnosis, giving exceptional patient education based on each doctor's individual treatment planning for predictability guidelines, delivering preventive as well as periodontal care, and so much more. The hygiene department is the hub that keeps a practice growing. We know what works predictably in thousands of practices across the country. Heartland is doctor-led, hygiene-driven, and operationally focused.
I joined in 1997 as the first Chief Operating Officer for Heartland Dental. In 1997, most people didn't even know what a DSO was. It wasn't called a DSO, it was a group practice. And that group practice, at that time, nobody knew who Heartland was. When I would be doing interviews for doctors to join us, they all had similar problems, although it's gotten more complicated over time. They were looking for places to work, I was looking for places to put doctors, and so it was about supporting them in the practices that we had and the opportunities that we had.
From 92 until 96, we ended up with 21 partners, and we're doing really well.
One of the things that I think is most remarkable about Dr. Workman, and essentially our company too, is our unending desire to be better, to get better, to work harder, to ensure that everyone is benefiting from the process.
I've been given an incredible opportunity to meet with 40 different dental groups and discuss the possibilities of the future and whether or not that might create an alignment opportunity for Heartland.
Dr. Workman seemed like quite an entrepreneur, and that I could trust him because he trusted me, and we had very similar beliefs on how we treat doctors and team members, and I knew that he had a goal to grow.
This closing bell might as well have been an alarm, so savage was the selling. The plunge was sparked by a jump in US inflation, the fear a bigger hike in interest rates the only remedy.
The stock market took a tank. .com bubble burst in 2000, and That was a very dark period of time. On the financial side, the practice side, Heartland Dental side, it was tough times.
We worked hard, but I don't know that there's anybody that we would have worked as hard for as Rick Workman and Pat Bauer at that point. Their leadership set the example. They were willing to work as hard as we were working. Neither one of them will ever ask anybody to do something that they wouldn't do. And so we were in it together. We knew what the stakes were, and we busted it out. And we built back a good number of practices that supported our home office support. And then we just continued to grow from there.
Everybody was passionate about what they did from day one, knowing that it's really about the patients and helping the patients get what they need.
We knew that stability was important to us. We had heard Jack Stack speak about the great game of business and open book management, which was extremely radical in dentistry. And so we taught people how things work in your dental office.
It was an incredibly exciting time, and we were working really hard on trying to develop systems to help our business run better, with always the focus of taking great care of our patients.
Doctors come in here and they understand first and foremost it's about doing the right thing for the right reason in that dental office. I think they learn over time that if they do that in the right work environment, that the results of that dental practice are astoundingly improved.
The Thrive process is an open book management approach, which is in essence Heartland's own internal consulting process. The management team proceed based on what the doctors and teams need in their practices to care for their patients. The Thrive process is the backbone of Heartland Systems and is designed to provide an objective look into the practice, equipping doctors and team members in developing ongoing action planning process with individual accountability to take their practices to optimum level of function and results.
Standards in a company are standards that people set for each other. What numbers are nothing more than stories about people. That's what numbers are. Everybody wants to make a difference.
One of the lines in his book, The Great Game of Business, is it's easy to stop one person, it's hard to stop 100. And the reality is by that time we had many hundreds of people who had a stake in the outcome.
Heartland is growing like crazy. You all are attached to that, and we're counting on you, and we're excited about what that can be for you and your families over time.
It's always something that he believed in. He wanted to create so much opportunity for as many people as he possibly could, and it is one of the things that has always spoke to me personally, because it's something that I believe, that we try to bring as many people along as we can.
So we were growing and having the opportunity and doing what I'd call a traditional group. But as we were hiring doctors, they were repeating the mistakes. We were able to help them in some ways and say, you don't have to make this mistake, I've made it. We began to figure out, provide certain opportunities. There are people who want to be a part of that. And that has how we really decided to transform from what I'd call a traditional group to what was called lots of different things, but today we call it a dental support organization.
We're read everywhere. What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
On the NASDAQ, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
This could be the most serious recession in decades.
So many people were losing their jobs. So many people knew that they may lose their benefits forever or going to have to be in the job market, that they were working very hard to make sure they had all the dental care taken care of. So our business actually increased. Time and time again, we have found that where the rest of the dental industry struggles during tough economic times, Heartland-supported doctors and teams thrive when our proven Heartland systems are implemented and practiced consistently. We have a robust CE program and continue to have a significant focus on ensuring every doctor, manager, and every team member have access to the best CE for the professional and personal growth.
When we affiliated with Heartland, we were put through a lot of classes that opened up my eyes to the growth of actually being a valued member of the company in the sense that we became leaders of our practice.
And one thing that I'm really proud of is there is nobody in a suit from a big city saying, "Doctor, you've got to do more crowns," or "You've got to do this because it makes more money." It's all about what does the patient need.
When we partnered with Heartland, we knew that the business side of things, their support, the organization that they had, would be able to take a lot off of our plate. It was easily the best professional, business, and personal decision we've ever made.
Almost every day I'll see an email that will say, "Hey, I've got a patient in the chair. We've got this situation going on. What can I do?" Within minutes, they'll have just a plethora of, "Hey, this happened to me last week. Here's what we did. Here's how we solved the problem." Heartland also offers the best continuing education.
The thing that gets me is when a patient who has fear and anxiety can finally say, "I really enjoy coming here. I'm gonna bring my friends and my family. I can trust my daughter with you," and we get those connections. They see us as caregivers, healers, the ones who help get rid of their infection and pain, or just help them maintain a good smile.
I think the growth of the company is what excites me the most. To watch where we were when I joined to where we are now, it's amazing, and it's exciting to see all of the transitions, to just see the technology advancement in our company, but we're leading dentistry. We are the leaders in our industry, and we're a world-class company, and I think as we continue to evolve and grow, it just reignites that fire, and we continue to reinvent ourselves as doctors and as teams.
Heartland has taken the experiences of Dr. Workman and the so many thousands of dentists that have come since, and it's really done a very good job of understanding how to help them do what they want to do. And that is to have more time and more capabilities to provide oral health care to their communities.
Whether it's through affiliations, de novos, existing practices, I know that we can help doctors and their teams build the practices of their dreams and take care of their patients. I know it in my heart.
I mean, we have 19,000 people out there headed into work every day to make a difference. And that's why I think Heartland is different as a DSO, because it's just not a place to work. It's a place to come and make a difference.
It's all about setting the company up for continued success. It's a journey. It's not just, hey, we got to win this year or this quarter, or we have to have a stock price here. It's about that process of making sure that we go forever.
It really has been the best decision of my life, both, personally, financially. It's a career that I love. I have a great work-life balance. I'm forever grateful that my path went that way.
People from all over the world are part of this company, and they have voices, and they can actually contribute and be heard and be part of the process of growing this company and be integral to the company is one of the things that I really like about it. To see them all interact together, to see how that works is, I think, what really makes this company great.
They have the abundance mentality. They want to support and help one another.
We knew that at the bedrock of this organization was a real-world dentist, Rick Workman. Whenever you were faced with a problem, he approached it with humility, honoring the person. It's like, hey, I know what you're doing. I know it's tough. I know what that's like. Well, the expectations of your parents, the expectations of your team, your patients. And he's like, yes, you've seen the mental angst, the mental torment, trying to balance all that and still serve a patient. You understand my world. You can help me. And look, who else has that track record of truly changing the lives and trajectories, not only of the clinicians, doctor and teams, but the quality of care and patient experience that they deliver. So having a doctor at the foundation, I believe, is what set Heartland up for success. I trust it never loses that root.
He believes in doing the right things for the right reason. You'll hear that from him multiple times, and that's probably a thought that resonates with everybody that you'll hear.
You're all working together. You're not in this group over there and that office over there. I want you guys to get to know each other and learn from each other. There are people like Anna and a lot of just geniuses. They want to help you. 1,000 miles away, they want to help you.
If you're a new dentist coming out, or if you're a mature dentist coming in, or you're a dentist that is phasing out of dentistry in itself, I believe Heartland has a platform of which they can help you to engage in the practice of dentistry or where you are. They can meet you at your place of maturity. And that to me is a key to success, because I don't have to worry about going backwards before I go forward. I can actually accelerate my clinical skill sets to become the best dentist I want to be, leave a legacy of what I deem as important to myself and the clinical skill sets that I have rendered, and I can also mentor somebody else.
We started January of 2020. And then of course March hit, so we had COVID. Frankly, I felt like I had a little guardian angel on my shoulder, because I don't know what I would have done had I not affiliated 2.5 months earlier. We would have been on our own. We wouldn't have had any of the kind of support that Heartland provided. That was amazing. Within the Heartland culture, it's like, yes, please let us know. We can help you. We can help you. There's somebody for everything, everything. Whatever you need help in, there's an expert. That you can't come by in a normal environment of just being a solo practicing dentist. It doesn't happen. There is no judgment. We don't want you to be afraid of it. We want you to try. You'll be so much happier when you succeed at something that maybe frightened you a little bit before. You'll be able to walk away proud and sleep a little better. It's just a wonderful feeling.
I'm a better clinician because of what I've learned through my educational skills. I've obviously gained more skill set. I'm a better business person because of what I've learned, what I did not know. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. And I'm just much, much more well-rounded as an individual, so that I could be a great provider for my patients. I'm constantly working on getting to be a better person. And I wake up in the morning and I'm anxious to go to work. I'm anxious to see my patients. I'm anxious to see my team. I'm anxious to be able to go in and change somebody's life with what I do.
I could never leave Heartland because I would have to look the people I work with in the eye and tell them I was going to be leaving. They're definitely my work family. I can't imagine not working with them.
One thing that keeps me at Heartland after all these years when I'm asked is, what do you do and why do you stay? And the one thing that I constantly say is, from day one, I've always felt like someone cared about me, not only as a hygienist, but as a person. And when I'm asked why we're the best, I say because we invest in our people more than any other DSO that I know of.
We just grew up knowing that the culture at Heartland was a great fit for people that are nice and hungry and humble and want to learn about self-growth and helping their community in their careers.
I'm definitely going to finish out my career here. If my children someday decide that they want to work for this company, I hope they have that opportunity. They really just focus on the family dynamic. They care about your family. They've just completely changed my life.
Growing up with Heartland, I was always around it, and really, to me and to my dad, it's been a family. They're here to support you, and they're here to work with you. There are very few expectations or there's no demands. It's really a partnership, and it's really them wanting to get the best out of you.
And here we are today with tens of thousands of team members, and we're just growing like crazy, all from that genesis of a handful of practices and just wanting to get better every day.
With hard work, with doing the right thing, with surrounding yourself with great people, and being open and honest and vulnerable, you can develop a strategy for life, a strategy for your family. You can develop a strategy for your business that can persevere and overcome, be resilient. Heartland Dental is changing the country in a very small way, but in a way that honors our profession, honors our country. I think it honors our community of all the thousands of people that I think we've made a difference in their lives.